morning, both live and future viewers. I'm your host, the Jackal Brute, known to the U.S. Legal Department as Jackson Broomlaw. Before we dive into our morning meditation verses in Proverbs 7, verses 14 through 17, let's start with our stretches. So for my T, stretches far from the east, is from the west, stretch to the high heavens above. Shake out all that sleepy rust. Bring your arms back. Now flip off Satan. Reach to the floor, reach to the floor. If you don't feel comfortable flipping off, just reach. He's down there somewhere. They're down there somewhere. Chin to the Lord. Chin to the floor. Left ear to your shoulder. Right ear to your shoulder. Now roll that neck. Roll it. Oh yes, there we go. Roll it. Now switch. Roll the shoulders. Now switch. Wacky shake, wacky shake, wacky shake. Get everything good and loose. Do you feel better? I feel better. Okay. Now for some deep breathing. So, shoulders back. And to get your shoulders back, you want to kind of roll them forward. Get them high. Shoulders back. There's your good posture. Open up the diaphragm and all your lung cavity so you have full breath capacity. We're going to make our hands together in our prayer form. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to form our square. So 1 square, deep breath in. 1 square, deep breath out. And we'll do that a couple times. Ready? So, in, out. Again. In, out. One more time. In, out. All right. So as I said, if you'd like to read along yourself, I personally will be reading out of my Teen Study Bible, which is an NIV, New International Version, Proverbs 7, verses 14 through 17. If you would like your daily dose of a square proverb, you can go to the Codex Church Facebook page, which I admin and founded. I had dropped the ball about a year ago doing a daily square proverb, but my intention is to pick that up again. So today's square proverb, I actually resumed the practice yesterday, so you can even find yesterday's, and it left us off on a cliffhanger. So the cliffhanger from yesterday's square proverb, then out came a woman to meet him, dressed like a prostitute and with crafty intent. She is loud and defiant, her feet never stay at home. Now in the street, now in the squares, at every corner she lurks. She took hold of him and kissed him, and with a brazen face she said, and that was the cliffhanger. So yesterday's square proverb, as I said, left on a cliffhanger, but today's square proverb, starting at verse 14, chapter 7 in Proverbs, out of the NIV, I have fellowship offerings at home. Today I fulfilled my vows, so I came out to meet you. I looked for you and have found you. I have covered my bed with colored linens from Egypt. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. So, I don't know about y'all, but as I'm reading this, and that's all in quotes, so this is the woman that came out dressed like a prostitute. So she may not be a prostitute, but she's dressed like one. So that's the first distinction we should make. You can't always judge a book by their cover. However, definitely someone's attire is indicative. So currently I'm wearing a Steelers hoodie. So it's indicative that perhaps I'm a Steelers fan. If you follow my channel, you know I'm from Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania has 2 NFL teams, Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Philadelphia Eagles. Why am I wearing a Steelers hoodie? Well, it's indicative that I'm probably a Steelers fan. And just so happens, they won last night. Spoiler alert to any of you who did not know that already. So, although we should not judge the book by its cover, we certainly can take some hints from a book's cover. So just as I'm wearing the Steelers fan, and you can assume I like football, and I probably root for the black and gold, if a woman dresses like a prostitute, she's giving off hints that she maybe isn't a prostitute, but maybe is a bit more loose. Maybe is more open to fun adventures outside the sanctity of marriage. You can't draw that conclusion necessarily, but there's hints, there's signs there. And just as it can be with us with us manly bro men, someone's walking around with like a tank top, got their guns out, and they're going to the gun show looking all Jersey Shore. Maybe they go to the gym regularly. I mean, you don't get guns sitting around eating potato chips, watching Jersey Shore. No. If you want to be Jersey Shore, you got to go to the gym and crank some iron, pump some iron. So again, everything that you see, you can't judge the book by its cover, but a book's cover definitely offers some hints. So there we have that this woman comes out into the street. She's dressed like a prostitute. The Proverbs does not say that she is. Nowhere did I read there that it said she flat out is. No, she looks like one. Okay, and then in today's square proverb, we finally have that she speaks for herself. And when somebody speaks, take them at their word. Most people that I've interacted with, by default, tell the truth. When they say something, believe them, take them at their word, because it takes a good bit of mental effort to lie, to concoct a falsehood. There's effort involved. The truth seemingly flows out seamlessly. Hey, honestly, I think no judgment from my end there. I'm going to go with Desi because I'm not sure how to pronounce your handle there. But yeah, Desi here made a comment that they worked in a homeless shelter, and working there revealed how judgmental at their core they can be by default. And hey, we all have our faults. We all have our weaknesses. For me, I definitely deal with pride. Sometimes my confidence very much can lead into arrogance. So I'm just as guilty as anybody, as we all are. All have fallen short of the glory of God, except for one. And he didn't even have a worldly daddy. He had an immaculate conception. He came to this world. He lived a perfect life, and he paid our price for the judgment that we should have rightfully owed. So at least that's where I stand. That's my view of things. So don't let that guilt consume you about the faults that you carry. Acknowledge them. Be aware of them. Give them over to the Lord. Ask, hey, Lord, I know that I've got these weaknesses. I know I have these vices, but please allow me to find a way to exercise them, to have an outlet for them in a way that still, if it doesn't please you, at least doesn't upset you, in a way that perhaps could be used to better your kingdom. For instance, alcohol is a blessing from the Lord. We are given alcohol to ease a weary spirit. Unfortunately, though, anything to excess can become dangerous. So having perhaps a glass of wine once a week, or even every night with dinner, one glass of wine with dinner every night, can go to excess and become alcoholism, where you've given over your life to the fruit of the vine, or to beer, or whatever's cheapest, just to get your fix, to numb the pain. I've known a lot. Well, I've known several alcoholics in my life. Some family members have struggled with alcoholism. So again, we all have our faults, we all have our weaknesses, we have our vices. To me, it's not about eliminating them, it's about acknowledging them and finding ways to cope with them. Clearly, I believe that we are molded and formed by our God, by the only God in heaven. So he forms us, he molds us exactly the way he knew we needed to be. And he has designed us perfectly for the time that he has placed us here on earth. And that includes our vices, that includes our weaknesses. He only made one perfect being, one perfect human. And if I'm being cagey, that was Jesus of Nazareth, born of Mary. As we approach the holiday season here, yeah. Oh my goodness, that's perfect wording. The alcohol absolutely can become like a god, a false god. It was the only thing that's applied relief. 12 steps can replace alcohol. Yeah, and that's the thing, yeah. Habits aren't broken, they're replaced. Um, so yeah, I truly feel you can't break a habit, but you can replace it. So I applaud you, Desi. I hope and I ask and I pray that you stay strong in your 12-step program. Um, and yeah, whatever's working for you, that it continues to work. So if the 12 steps is what got you through and got you out of your alcoholism, praise the Lord. And go you for acknowledging that it became a God. I mean, the Bible tells us that there are many false gods, and that there's only one true God, and you know that you can only be slave to one master. You will, whether that master be alcohol or money. We as humans can only serve one master, because if we try to serve two, you will come to love the one master and hate the other. And that's if you only have two. Like, imagine, some people have a gambling addiction and alcoholism and perhaps maybe a porn addiction. There's all these addictions that basically become gods in our lives. And right, yeah, like don't try to break a habit, just try to replace it with something that's maybe not fully healthy, but at least better for you. Not to share too much, because it's more her story, but hopefully she's okay with me sharing. My wife has dabbled in smoking cigarettes. She acknowledges, and the doctor of course tells her, hey, it's not healthy. You shouldn't be doing it. Don't you want to live a long life? Don't you want to have a future and all this stuff? But she's like, it's a way to break away from the hustle and the bustle and the chaos and the noise, and just step outside, take a breath, take a few puffs, center herself, and then come back. So a couple months ago or weeks ago, I can't remember exactly how long ago, she replaced the smoking habit with a vaping habit. Now, vaping is still very new in terms of the whole human timeline, but she's vaping less than what she was smoking. So, we're seeing steps in the right direction. Me, watching the finances, vaping's cheaper than the smoking, so that benefits our household. She, for her, has noticed that she seems to, step out to vape less than she would step out to smoke. She feels like it's a step in the right direction. So, yeah, we don't break habits. We have to replace them, and we have to be very mindful of replacing them. If you want rid of a habit, decide for yourself today what habit you are instead going to replace it with. But going back to our morning meditation verses, our square proverb, Proverbs 7:14 through 17, reading out of the NIV. So the woman dressed like a prostitute, she's out in the middle of the street, and she says, I have fellowship offerings at home. Today I fulfilled my vows. So she's whoever she's talking to, because I don't quite see here in yesterday's square proverb that I read previously, verses 10 through 13. Like, it doesn't clearly state who. It just says she took hold of him, so it's sort of vague. The author here, Proverbs, is playing the pronoun game. So this woman dressed like a prostitute takes hold of him and kisses him, and with a brazen face says. So that's a lot to take in. Brazen definitely is a college word. Off the top of my head, I wouldn't quite be sure how to define it. It's like bold. It's overconfidence is what's coming to my mind when I hear brazen. So just imagine that. Imagine if you're walking down the street, living life, maybe humming a little tune, your favorite song in your head, and all of a sudden this woman comes around the corner looking like a prostitute. She grabs you by the face and kisses you, and then with bold confidence says, hey, I've got a really nice TV, a comfortable couch back at my house. Got some great food. I'll cook a meal for you. Why don't you come on by? Why don't you follow me to my house? We'll sit on the couch, maybe Netflix and chill. And then I'll cook you something good, fill your belly up. But anyway, so the author of Proverbs continues, and this woman dressed like a prostitute says, so I came out to meet you. I looked for you and have found you. So now, that's stalker. She's like, she literally says, I came out here. I came out into the street to find you. I want you. Now, how does that feel? To feel selected, to feel chosen. But when you look a little deeper, that's a stalker. Like, this woman dressed like a prostitute in the middle of the street was stalking you. and she found you. And then she goes on to say, I have covered my bed with colored linens from Egypt. Now, if you know anything about Egypt in around Bible times, Old Testament times, like when Proverbs was written, I think Egypt was known for like fine linens. Egypt was definitely a rich society at that time. So we have to imagine that these were fine linens that she's laid on her bed. So now she's saying again, like, it's so comfortable. You will not believe how amazing my bed is. And then the final verse here, verse 14, I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. So those are spices and some like liquid perfumes, things to smell good, to be pleasing to the nose, very aromatic. So like basically this woman dressed like a prostitute who has stalked you and found you has set the scene, set the mood, and she's telling you, hey, I'm trying to tempt you back to my place. Come back to me. Not come back, but come with me. Like, whoa. She's laying it on thick, and that is double C, thick. But that's all we have for today's square proverb. So yeah, chew on that, meditate on it. Meditate actually means to chew. So let that sit in the back burner today as you're going about your business. And let's go ahead and pivot from today's square, this morning's square daily proverb. Like I said, if you're looking for more square proverbs, you can go to the Facebook group Codex Church. It is the Facebook group that I manage, and my intention for the remainder of this 2025 calendar year and then moving forward into the 2026 calendar year is to post a daily square proverb. And now, I don't know if you can kind of see here in the corner, my keyboard, we will be diving into a hymn that I've selected. It is out of the Worship and Rejoice hymnal by Hope Publishing Company, hymn number 68, Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing. I just have to get my keyboard plugged in because I'm hitting the power button and there's no power, and I can clearly see that it is unplugged. So let me just reach around here. All right, there we are, plugged in. I see the red light, and just have to check the volume a little bit because the rest of my household is currently sleeping because here in central Pennsylvania it is just after 6 in the morning, and I'm of course still awake. I'm awake. I'm an early riser, an early bird. Ideally, my wife is not, my children are not. So, I'm not familiar with that. Is that a song, Malixfer? If you could shoot me an email with like a link to that song, I'd love to listen to it. If it's a melody that expresses the pain of Palestine and is a sad melody. Music speaks to all culture. So even if the singer sings in, I would love to listen to. I've actually had a chance to sing in German before. It was back in high school when you do things like county chorus or competitive chorus. Some of the songs were in foreign languages, so you had to learn how to sing in foreign languages that you don't speak. And so it gave you an appreciation that music reaches beyond language barriers. So yeah, if you could shoot me a link, maybe drop it in the comments below this video, preferably shoot it maybe on my Twitter at Jackal Brewit. That's fruit with a B. Or shoot me an email, jackalbrewit@gmail.com. I'd love to listen to that song, Malixfer. So let's see if we can get the volume right so that it's not too loud so it doesn't wake mommy. But hopefully you guys can still, viewing it, can hear it. That feels like a good, yeah, that feels like a good volume there. Okay, so as I said, we're going to be learning hymn 68, Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing. So there's two sharps, F and C, which based on the circle of fifths, bead, go catch, I believe that's the key of D. That doesn't sound right though. No, it can't be the key of D. Go catch fish. B. Is it the key of D though? Oh, yes, that is key of D. Yes. So, Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing is in the key of D major. So, two sharps. Okay, so we have that inner ear now. So I need a little bit of a lubrication for my vocal fold. Nectar of Wonder, Dr. Pepper. So I'll be switching to ginger ale. A little more healthy, but again, not the greatest. You know, if you ask my doctor, Dr. D, she'd tell you, no soda, water only. Only drink water. She's a weight specialist or something, and she's very anti-soda, I gather, from my sessions with her. So it starts. Oh my. And here we're getting tricky. We're getting some 16th notes thrown in, so it's going to sound a little bit faster. Nope, be natural sharp. That's it. So there you have it. That is the entire melody line of Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing. So now I'm just going to read all three verses, so no melodic line. You'll just have to kind of keep in your ear what I was just playing, and the whole time that we're reading through, that I'm reading through the verses, just think the key of D major. Come thou fount of every blessing, tune my heart to sing thy grace, streams of mercy never ceasing. Call for songs of loudest praise. Teach me some melodious sonnet, sung by flaming tongues above. Praise his name, I'm fixed upon it, name of God's redeeming love. Verse 2. Here I rise to thee an altar, hither by thy help I've come, and I hope by thy good pleasure safely to arrive at home. Jesus sought me when a stranger, wandering from the fold of God. He to rescue me from danger bought me with his precious blood. Oh, to grace, how great a debtor daily I'm constrained to be. Let thy goodness like a fetter bind my wandering heart to thee. Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it, prone to leave the God I love. Here's my heart, oh, take and seal it for thy court. courts above. Here's the tricky part. Come, thou fount of every blessing, tune my heart to sing thy grace. Streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. Teach me some melodious sonnet, sung by flaming tongues above. Praise his name, I'm fixed upon it, name of God's redeeming love. Here I raise, here I raise, I thought it was rise. Here I raise to thee an altar, hither by thy help I've come, and I hope by thy good pleasure safely to arrive at home. Jesus sought me when a stranger, wandering from the fold of God, he to rescue me from danger bought me with his precious blood. Oh, to grace how great a debtor daily I'm constrained to be. Let thy goodness like a fetter bind my wandering heart to thee. Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it, prone to leave the God I love. Here's my heart, Lord, oh, take and seal it for thy courts above. So to close our morning meditation, that is my prayer for all of you out there, that you recognize, I see someone asked in the chats, what song were we singing? That was hymn number 68. Hymn number 68 out of the Worship and Rejoice hymnal. Come, thou fount of every blessing. It's a beautiful piece. Beautiful piece, truly is. And that is my prayer for all of you out there this morning, and prayer for myself as well, that that we can be mindful of the vices and the false gods that we serve, and that we ask our Father above to lock those false gods away, those addictions, those bad habits, lock them away as far as possible from us. Lead us not into temptation, Jesus taught us to pray. And I think that's how I'm going to conclude today, is the Lord's Prayer from the New Testament. The disciples were asking Jesus, "Look, Rabbi, how are we supposed to teach?" And Jesus gave us a very simple outline. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. But folks, that is now a 31-minute live session with me, your morning meditation with the Jackal Brute, better known by the U.S. government as Jackson C. Brumbaugh. Get off of YouTube, put your phone down, log out of your computer, go touch grass, breathe some fresh air, and do something amazing already. Later.